Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good afternoon, beautiful people. A little bit of a pop up here because I gotta pack some isopods and stuff anyway. So I was like, may as well do a stream. Why not? Since I'm already going to be here in the fish room. And I was listening to some YouTube videos. I was working in here, and I happened to get inspired to talk about a few things. And then the sponge came too, which helped. So we'll talk about the sponge at some point. And just general, the loose yapping. I'm not gonna pretend like there's some kind of set topics that I'm gonna get to in order. But I will start off with one. And I see William, you're in there already. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So, that being said, actually going to get into the title. The title idea here. Yeah, I'm going to get onto the floor because I'll be working on bagging some stuff as we do this. But basically, I was watching some YouTube videos and I was like, man, there's there's a lot of conflicts of interest just in general in life. Um, but I was watching a lot of like trying to expand, my horizons fish tube wise, because I talk about a lot. I don't watch as many different people as I should. And I was like, man, as I'm like kind of going through, I was like, a lot of these people have some serious conflicts of interest. So I kind of wanted to talk about that since I just spilled my entire bag, fish bags, all over the damn place. But I wanted to talk about it because we do a lot of research, quote unquote, on here. We do a lot of looking stuff up, gathering information. And one of the things you have to do is evaluate the source. What is the quality of the information I'm getting? Um, when it comes to like a academic paper, there's a lot of easy ways to do that. You can look at the methods and materials. A lot of them will have disclaimers if they were funded by someone that may be a conflict of interest. So say it's like, you know, a study on the health benefits of dairy, and it was funded by a dairy product company, right? And conflicts of interest, they're not necessarily nefarious always. They're not necessarily mean you can't trust the source of information or anything like that, but they're good to know, especially as you're comparing and contrasting different sources of information. And I feel like it's something that I haven't really done enough of, you know, looking at when it comes to YouTube and fish stuff. There's a lot of different ones. There's some easy ones, right? So you're looking at, fish to buy, and you're watching a video, and they're like, "This is the best fish ever. You should buy it." Maybe you don't realize this person happens to have a lot of that fish that they're trying to get rid of. You know what I mean? Which, again, isn't necessarily bad. Doesn't mean the information is, wrong or anything. But these are good things to consider uh, when you're looking around and researching. I'll show you the exact thing that inspired me to talk about this. And I hate to say it, but I am again shamelessly using the Tank Talk podcast to provide me something to talk about because I don't know what it is. These guys just keep mentioning stuff that I'm kind of like, okay, that gives me a thought, you know? So who knew in my world these are the thought leaders? What's up, King Nino? How's it going? How's it going? Well, I'm gonna go through a few random YouTubers, show some examples, and I'm actually gonna start with myself. Okay? I'm gonna start with myself because it would be totally unfair to do this and then act like I don't have conflicts of interest or biases. Because almost everyone has some amount of bias. Uh, I think a bias is probably slightly different than conflict of interest. I'm not some kind of definition expert, but in my head they're probably a little bit different. But we're gonna go through them. We're gonna go through all of them. So let me pull this up here real quick. What's up? What's up, everyone? I like doing these earlier streams when I'm working on some fish stuff anyway, because then not only does it kind of, I don't know, I like doing stuff at different times, but people that are like doing jobs during the day where they can listen to something, that's what I do a lot with podcasts. So I just imagine other people also giving some background noise. Audra, Meyer, hey, Nick and peeps in the chat, good luck. Gonna lurk and work and chime in when I can. Audra, thank you for stopping by. Okay, so let's talk about the conflict of interest thing. Let's start with me. How would I go about evaluating the quality of information as far as conflicts of interest from my own channel? Okay, so let's go to youtube.com. Let's go to In My Tanks. Okay, so you go here, you go to videos. Now we all know what if we go to the live stream, it's going to be a bit more balanced. We talk about all sorts of stuff. Well, if we just go to videos, which I've made like four of, we'll see, okay, Elosoma, isopods, all right, peacock gudgeons, okay.
When
This
going on a
video,
mission,
I'm talking about breeding isopods. I mentioned that I sell them to some degree. That's the first thing. It's like, okay, so is this person selling any of the things that they're making videos on? So we can go to my website and we can see, okay, he's selling isopods, he's selling Elosoma, and he's selling peacock gudgeon. So although I don't think that I necessarily hyped up any of these fish, and the only reason I'm selling them is because I breed all the fish that I keep. So it's not like I brought them in. I have to sell. It's just, I just happen to try and breed every fish I have. But still, you can look and see every video I've made is on something that I breed and have listed on a website for sale. So, does that necessarily mean all the information in my videos are bad and biased? I mean, I don't think so, but it's a consideration, something to have, grain of salt, as they say, in the back of your head watching the videos. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like he's really all in on the isopod agenda. It's up to you to decide if that's just something I'm really passionate about, and selling them as part of that. But it's a good thing to know, because if you watch the video not knowing that, you might have a different take on some of the information as opposed to after knowing it. So that's the easy one. Okay, just doing myself here. Now, Tank Top Podcast. This was so funny because those that are like have been in the same discords as me for a while know that we joke around a lot about how KG Tropicals has never met a hang on back filter he hasn't liked. Don't know if it's true. It's just a joke because it talks about hang on back filters a lot, right?
four of those would be people that have.
And this is a video called The Most Common Problem with Aquarium Filters. Okay. And he said something very interesting here. One second. One second. That got me thinking about this. Okay.
We have to handle customer service. We get a lot of emails about those filters, all different types of problems. And most of those problems
Let
are
me
very,
see.
very best episode that are found off script because you're not perfect.
That's what happened. Types of fish canister.
Trying to find it.
Underground.
Well,
But
filters are the
basically,
best.
at some point in this video, he says the words that they sell more hang-on back filters than any other type of filter, right? So this is someone that is selling a lot of hang-on back filters. It's the one they sell the most of. So yeah, they do have a significant, interest in them being good and people buying them. Again, not necessarily a problem or indicative of anything, but that goes to the next how I evaluate conflicts of interest, right? So every fish store, let's say, sells neon tetras. Okay, but that's not the only thing every fish store sells. So if everyone made a video on neon tetras, it's like one of 20 fish, sorry, one of like 20,000 fish that they sell, right? But then if you have someone that neon Tetris is like 90% of their income stream, then you might want to take that conflict of interest seriously when they're talking about that topic because it's a lot different when it's just like a part of your income as opposed to like most of the money that you're making from your business, right? So you can apply this to me. I've made 3 videos on isopods, and that's a lot of talking about one thing. So clearly, I have a disproportionate interest in isopods as opposed to almost anything else that I got going on, right? So again, I'll keep applying it to me as we go through, but that's one way that I look at it. Yeah, what's up, Jesse? How's it going? Hey, Nick William King. What's up, Jody? What's up, Jody? So that's one thing. Identifying a conflict of interest. Again, the conflict itself, not necessarily the biggest deal, but that's when you go to the next level, which is, all right, how much interest do they have in this thing? Is it just one of many things they do, or is this the thing that's keeping their entire business afloat? You know? So, one second. I'm just grabbing my marker because I'm gonna try and bag some stuff as we do this. I'm try and be productive. Yeah. Yeah. What is up, Bare Bottom Brant? I like this podcast for the first 2 episodes. I can't stand it. Then she'll be sick of John's voice. The way he talks makes me want to murder. I watched, depending on the episode topic, I'll watch. It just so happened that the last episode they did, I thought was pretty listenable. And then uh, this one, because I've been thinking about filtration and stuff a lot recently, I just kind of naturally was interested. I haven't even watched it yet. I literally watched the first 2 minutes and um I saw him say that thing about the hang on back filters and then I went live. So that's one thing about me going live is you just never know when it's gonna happen. The lineup of time and inspiration and energy can just come perfectly and I'll just go live immediately. All right. So anyways, so that being said, I didn't know that, necessarily hang on back filters was literally the thing they sold the most of. So if you go to Keep Fish Keeping as the site, we can go and see all the equipment that they sell, right? Filters. But it's not, he did say he sells the most of the hang on backs, and we see the models he has, but he doesn't just have hang on backs. So even though it's the most, it's like he's got sponge filters in here. He's got the hydros. Um, Kind of low in stock on some of those sizes, but he's got other sponge filters. So, you know, hang on packs are probably the most popular in general. So, is it a conflict of interest? Sure. I'll keep that in mind. If he's ever praising them too hard, I might be like, okay, is this a model that he has listed on a site? Because that's another thing. If he's blazing a model that he doesn't even sell, then conflict of interest? I don't know. Maybe not. Audra said, I kept fish for years, never used a sponge filter until I had more than 5 tanks and actual fish room. Oh yes, unboxing video upcoming. I do have the Hygger Sponge Filter here. I got the smaller size before, so I got the larger one so we can do a live look at it. I'll bust out the camera. William says, does he make more profit from HOBs? I think he did say that they did sell canisters, but they were too expensive to ship, which I was like, that makes sense. Fair enough. So it's like it's a good example of like just because someone has a conflict of interest doesn't mean it's necessarily anything to worry about, but it could just be something just to keep in mind. So that being said, that being said, let's let's go to my favorite people to talk about. Okay, let's go to aquarium coop. The coop. I'm starting to say coop more. I used to say co-op more. So if we go to their filtration equipment, what do we see? We see that they sell only one kind of filter. All right, sponge filters. So when we go to, as we were talking about before, clearly hang on back filters is his favorite, but he does sell other kinds of filters. So conflict of interest, but like, the interest maybe is mild. Aquarium Co-op, they only have one kind of filter on their own so far. So far. I'm sure there'll be like an air powered hang on back or something at some point. Who knows? Um, and yeah, so that tells you that their investment in this one particular type of filtration is heavy. This is the only kind that they have on their site, especially ones that are under the green the green label, right? Um, and that is one way that I would compare and contrast when it comes to conflicts of interest and levels of conflicts of interest, right? Okay. Let's go to a harder one. All right.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's do keeping fish simple. What's up, Putu? What's up, Jeffro? No such thing as too much filtration. I think that's probably true. Have a good stream. I got to go. Thanks for stopping by. Putu shipping out orders. Yeah, Putu just started selling the blueberry snails. Excited to see how people do those and get to them. Jeffro says, "Congrats on the store, Jody." Yeah, see, we're gonna have to do the conflicts of interest on Jody too, one day. One day. I can't wait. I can't wait. In my tanks expose video, Jody P and Christopher Junkin. Did they just make the best fish reel? You can get the bug buffet on subscription now. Jody said, "F and bring it, Nick." See, they use well water. Yeah, I'm joking. They sell mods for HOB. Oh, yeah. So this is a good note. So William said they sell mods for HOBs. Wouldn't be surprised if they start carrying their own HOB, which hang on back. So yeah, they're selling some 3D printed modifications to improve hang on back filters. One part of that is I'm sure that they would love to have their own hang on back filter. Of course, they're trying to have their own everything. So I'm sure that'll happen eventually. But also, in lieu of having their own, they now have a way to at least get some sales from the HOB people by providing something that they can buy. You know, well water slash live water rips. I miss it. Audra Meyer says, "I love the HOB mod." So see, so that it is a good way to even though they don't have them, they can provide something to those people that do have them. So keeping fish simple. This is going to be a harder one because I like I like his channel. Two, he's just got a lot going on, so I don't think it's going to be just one item. Like he's got a retail store he's building, a new one, and uh, I thought I was on the co-op website for a second because of the green, but okay. Let's see. So let's go to the fish foods. We do love our well water. Go to the fish foods. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I ever talked about this, but remember how we did the whole deep dive on brine shrimp, Artemia cysts, and I was trying to figure out which ones Aquarium Co-op had because the thing about the brine shrimp cysts is their attributes, like how much they separate and stuff, is partly from the species of Artemia and then the water that they're in and diet and all this kind of stuff. So based on the microscope stuff, based on the attributes of the aquarium co-op brine shrimp eggs, I determined that it was my guess was they were from Bohai Bay. So along the way, I did see that Keeping Fish Simple has brine shrimp eggs, and it lists that it's Bohai Bay cysts. And I'm highlighting that because when I asked um, Aquarium Co-op which cyst they had, they called it a trade secret. So I just want to, congratulate people on providing helpful information as far as the species of our or location of the Artemia cysts, because it does actually matter uh, depending on what you're finding. I think he's on a second store. I think Jody got a hold of his food. Yes, Jody sent me some of the bug buffet. Let me see. Do I have some of it right here still? I've been rationing it. I've been rationing it. No, I got green cuisine. I don't have bug buffet. I still have green cuisine though. So you can see the foods. He's got bug buffet. He's got brine shrimp. He's got the tube effects. We got green cuisine. So this experiment. So it's his own food. We got some pellets. I mean, this is again Australia, so I don't know all the brands out there, but clearly someone very invested in fish foods and having their own fish food. Now, I don't actually think he's done that ridiculous of a job, like shilling his own product or anything crazy, where it makes me think, oh, conflict of interest. But it's just good things to know. But this channel is kind of a good example of a place where I wouldn't worry that much about conflicts of interest, just because he shares so much of his business and his life. You know what I mean? Like he's doing these long vlog type videos and stuff like that. I feel like he's got a pretty trustworthy brand going on where I wouldn't even worry about it, you know. You can't visit his store from his YouTube channel, then it won't allow US shipping. You have to Google his website. Ah, I see. That's how you get it. Um, and you know what? He even did a video once where he showed like what it looked like on his end, looking at a fish list, ordering from a fish list, and I thought that was awesome. I wish more people did stuff like that. But anyways, so I just brought this channel up because I'm just thinking of channel ideas. Who makes green cuisine? Is that one of his other lines of food? I believe so. I believe so. Because it said on their experimental formula. Experimental formula. Okay, let's do freaking let's do something harder. Okay, let's do Aquahuna, my favorite online retailer, ranked by how many times I've done an unboxing. All right, so conflicts of interest. There's not a lot of videos with like information here, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say. And I want to reiterate, conflict of interest doesn't necessarily. I feel like when you say that, it implies someone's like hiding. I feel like that it does. It's not really like a secret or like devious or bad. You know what I mean? Not all conflicts of interest are bad, they just exist. You can't really help it. Here's one I just thought of though, which is interesting. So we got goldfish here in the front page, right? We got this video here on the front page, unboxing goldfish. Now, I don't know how many people are buying goldfish from Aquahuna, but I always thought it was kind of interesting that they had this goldfish emphasis, just because, again, I don't personally know how many people are buying goldfish from Aquahuna. Sorry, that's how you're supposed to say it, right? I'm trying to correct myself because Putu's gonna come in the replay and be like, "Yo, okay." But check this out. Check this out. I found a way in my head that we could somehow paint this goldfish stuff on the front as a very subtle conflict of interest. So here's what we're gonna do. Aquahuna, what state are they based in? Aquahuna is based in Washington. Okay, so we're gonna go to Washington LLC lookup. All right, check this out. Okay, LLC lookup in Washington, corporations and charities. Where's the search? Is this the search? Give me 1 second. All right, corporation search. Let's do Aquahuna. Zero. Okay, Ver zero. No, nothing. No LLC Aquahuna in Washington. Okay, so let's go to Aquahuna info about us. Let's see. Jerry Hugh is the founder. Okay, so let's go back to the corporation search. And let's see. Did I search his name or is this just okay? So let's do open corporate. Okay, and then let's search by age officer. Okay, now let's search Jerry Hugh. Okay, bam. Wholesale fish and pet supply, Washington. Okay, that's current. Then they have two inactive ones, G&H Goldfish. All right. So G&H, I believe, is kind of like their, well, they have a literally their wholesale name is Wholesale Fish and Pet Supply. Let's just go back and look that up and back to the Seattle one because open corporate, like you just want to go to the state one. Okay, so Wholesale Fish and Pet Supply. Now that we search that instead of Aquahuna, we see, okay, here it is, Jerry Hugh XYZ. Now, here we got the mailing address. So can we look up, let's just confirm it's the same thing. So Aquahuna address. Okay, we got 620 S 7th Street. All right, is that, yep, that matches here. So this seems to, Nick has some investigation skills that could be using a DBA. Yep. So, where was I going? This just became me looking up random shit. All right, right. The goldfish thing. Okay. Let me look up that real quick because I just thought it was just interesting. You would never know that they had like a affinity for goldfish, but apparently G&H Goldfish Inc. was kind of another Aquahuna situation. So here, got G&H Goldfish Inc. JRU, different address. Doesn't look like it's active anymore though. But just kind of cool lore, a little bit of business lore. Again, not really a conflict of interest, but just when I saw the goldfish on the front page, I was like, man, they just seem to really like goldfish. And yeah, they used to they used to have a company called G&H Goldfish. And maybe I'm not like some kind of professional investigator, so maybe, they still have it active somewhere or incorporated in another state or all sorts of stuff. I remember when I tried to look up that's a good one to do. Okay, you guys ready for this disaster? We're only gonna spend like a few minutes on this because it's so convoluted. But as far as conflicts of interest is so limited because that's one way to kind of evaluate your source of information. But like, there's way more things that you should look at. Like, for instance, someone starts an organic food company or just any kind of company, and you want to know their history. Like, have they run good companies in the past? You know what I mean? Like, do they have a history of doing good business? Father Fish is a huge conflict of interest. Oh my gosh. So this one may upset. Actually, Brandon's funny you chimed in. So let's go to aquatic provisions. Okay, I'll be honest. I like some of the foods and stuff, so this is one of those things where it's like none of this necessarily means any company is bad, but it's just something kind of interesting to keep in mind. So we go to aquatic provisions, all right, and I've done this on stream with them a little bit, but if, we go to about us, okay, blah blah blah, our story. The thing about them, okay, we got John Simpson. So let's just go to Open Corporate and look up this officer John Simpson and see what comes up. Now, the thing with the aquatic provisions and John Simpson particularly, and there's a lot of people named John Simpson, so I probably need to do some like settings or something. Let's do aquatic. Let's do trademark search real quick. Trademark databases, trademark search system. Let's do John Simpson. Okay. Let's do aquatic provisions. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. All right, aquatic provisions. I'm doing this because I want to go and I want to get an address, basically, a business address. Basis information. Where's, am I trying to read too fast? All right, here we go. Here's an address. I'm looking it up. All right. Now, this address takes us to Glosso Factory, and the thing is I'm not gonna go through the rabbit hole entirely right now on stream because it's a waste of time. But Glosso Factory is just one of many other businesses that this guy has made around selling aquarium products and other things. He's made a beta supply company. He's done a brine shrimp thing. He's done some other food stuff. He had another physical store. He's done like a billion different brands that he's just like copy and pasted, spammed out a billion, like, you know what I mean? And as you go through them, they kind of all have similar vibes. Now, Aquatic Provision seems to be one that's actually working. So you could see it as a positive because he's tried a lot of different things. So, he's experienced and all that kind of stuff. But you could also look at another way where it's like, okay, this is someone who just tries a bunch of stuff, not really thinking it through until something finally works. And also the way that he does it, he like has incorporated in Delaware, where you don't have to do privacy stuff, and then he's made used that company to start a company in other places. So tracking down his whole ownership web is actually like really annoying because he's done all these things that make it harder to go through, at least for someone like me who I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's good to know essentially what the point of this was. It's good to know what other businesses people own because you may find a YouTuber or you may find a company, um, and you'll do like a basic like conflicts of interest analysis, and it seems all fine. But what you didn't know is they have some kind of shadow LLC that is a company of another kind of product they make videos on that you didn't even know they actually sold directly. So that's why it could be useful to uh to try and figure out when you're looking at a particular business, what other businesses do they own? That's what we talk about like monopolies and how Petco and PetSmart basically own, a billion other food brands and things like that. Um, it's just good to know because maybe someone's secretly promoting their other product and you just had no idea, or it's not a secret necessarily, but you just weren't aware of it. So you moved to destroying local fish clubs, attacking every fish company you can. No, like I said, none of this is necessarily says anything bad about any of these companies. It's just a good thing to keep in mind. Like for me personally, when I see someone that has like 20 abandoned brands, it kind of gives me like .com tech bubble, tech bro vibes, and it's not necessarily my favorite. Now, I happen to still like a lot of the aquatic provisions foods and stuff because they're buying, real foods and selling real bulk products. That works for me. Does it make me feel particularly loyal to the brand? No, no, it does make me kind of feel like it's more of a utility brand as opposed to one like maybe I'm gonna buy a t-shirt for or something like that. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. At least for me. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Okay. Let me see. What else? What else can I think of? Because again, a lot of this stuff is not like necessarily a secret or anything. It's just maybe the average person wouldn't come across certain or think of certain things. I put myself in that group because I don't think of certain things. The incognito YouTube base algorithm is crazy. Let's do this.
In
Let's
today's
use
video,
random channel MJ Aquascape, and I know nothing about him.
in this video,
Although I will say that most aquascaping channels are like basically pipelines for scamming people. Confidential, a good thing to keep in mind, especially when everyone's trying to sell you something. Yeah. All right, so we have the typical, aquascaping slop content. Someone looking at a tank with lights on it. It's rimless. All right. Oh, aquascaping tutorials, product reviews, maintenance guides, and much more. Well, I don't see a store link or anything, but we go to Instagram. Let's go to the link tree. Okay, we got abuse referral link. We got an APT percent off. We got a aqua Azaqua, and where I bought the shelf. Okay, and this shelf. Okay, kind of interesting. So hey, honestly, it's not the worst ever. You don't really got like a store or anything like that. Maybe he has like an aquascaping business or something, but I mean, there's no problem with that. Showcase your talents. Now, I I don't think that coupon codes and stuff are that big of a problem. I will say for me, I I don't want to because of the way that I talk on stream. I don't want to do a coupon code because I think even just a small amount of unconscious bias is like more than I really want to entertain. And especially here's the way I would do a coupon code if it was a higher percent off than anyone else, and if I made no money off. I think if you profit off the coupon code, to me, this is just me personally. Because of the kind of content I make, I don't think it matters if you're just doing this kind of stuff. But if I'm making money off of people buying something, then obviously I'm gonna have an incentive to say good things about it because the more people that buy it, the more money I make off of it. So that's one thing for me with the coupon codes. It's not always a problem, but just keep in mind that you know they're not incentivized to tell you not to buy it if something's bad because they only make money if you do buy it. So, and that's another reason why it gets tricky with people that have coupon codes for these online fish retailers. Like, think about it. Uh, Co-op used to do Aqua Huna, whatever. Alex from Fishery, he basically has had a coupon code to like every single company at some point. But if you think about him, even talking about Moonlight Aquatics, I don't really know anything about Moonlight Aquatics, but it feels like he wasn't around for very long before Alex was doing coupon codes for him. And I like Alex, so I'm sure he gave caveats like, hey, he doesn't quarantine fish or whatever information he knew to let people know to make a good decision. But I think it's especially kind of dubious with the online retailers because you can get a lot if people order from those places, a cut of 15% is a lot more than if they order a sponge filter. You know, people make some pretty big fish orders. Um, Jody says, I really enjoy aquascaping. He works for Seacom now. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Companies people work for, that's a good thing to keep in mind too. Any way to know if they're making money off the coupon code? I always assume they got something via like money or like discounts. A lot of the time people say if they're getting money from a coupon code that I've seen. Um, I don't know how to tell otherwise, but I would just assume if anyone's doing a coupon code, it's it's pretty standard that they get some amount of money when people use it. So, especially if it's the same percent discount that everyone else is getting on that product, then yeah. Like Hygger will basically give anyone that breathes a coupon code. I think I had like under 1,000 subscribers, and I've talked to other people, smaller YouTubers that say the same. They're like really aggressive with promoting with and I don't mean aggressive in like necessarily a bad way, just they're very active in promoting with creators. But for instance, yeah, Brandon has the coupon code for aquatic provisions. Like he makes money off of the code. It's not a secret or anything, but it is a big conflict of interest for sure. That being said, Brandon's my guy, so I'm gonna load up on code Brandon 25 on aquatic provisions next time I get one of their meals or one of the simple cichlid pellets that I've been enjoying using from time to time. No problem, nothing wrong with that. Mm. Brandon, how much you made off SVC so far? That's hilarious. Not enough. We gotta pump the numbers up. We gotta pump the numbers up. Code Brandon 25. That was the whole point of the stream, actually. You know, hey, that's another great thing, conflicts of interest, though. Who people are friends with. especially when it comes to YouTube and in any niche, whether it's news or whatever. You, it is good to pay attention to who people are friends with because it's hard to say negative things about a friend or someone you like, or to necessarily point out any pressing flaws. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. That is a good thing to keep in mind. Let's see, what else does this front page send us?
This
MD
tank has
fish
been.
tanks.
What's going on, beautiful people? I
Does
have
he
kept
sell
this.
things? Okay, as merch. Um, I don't know. I hate MD fish tanks, so I think I can't even talk about this. I can't even talk about this. I have a conflict of interest. I hate his videos. I hate his videos. A conflict of interest with him is every video is manufactured to be content, and that's the only purpose of all of his videos. So you basically can't trust anything in them because they're all manufactured because he needs an excuse to make another video because he doesn't actually do anything interesting. Uh, that what he does is he comes up with a reason that he needs to break down a tank and redo it or set up a new tank. That's about it. I'm sure that there's some products that he promotes throughout there, and I'm sure he's been sponsored by some product or something that he gets paid to put in a video. But yeah, I would say that's probably a more prevalent thing. It's like a lot of these channels, like one of the main reasons why you got to be careful listening to them is some of them just make videos to make videos. So they might say, "Oh, my fish, it sneezed today, which means that it has a deadly bubonic plague, so I have to bleach my entire aquarium." Uh, you might think that's actually a reasonable thing to do in response to whatever it is, but it's not. Like he did a video like that I pulled up on screen before about the camelina worms, and he saw a fish with them, and he like tore apart like 5 tanks. It was totally unhinged. It was like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So in my opinion, it really is like the abuse of fish for content. That kind of thing to me is disgusting. But that's just my opinion. Um, it's right up there with like the people that like buy a fish and then you never hear about it again. Um, because maybe it. I don't even think like half the time it's that they died. I think like legitimately they just like had the fish on loan or something. Okay, that's enough on that. You guys get the point. That's just something I was thinking about, wanted to talk about. Um, I will say that as I've been trying to learn more about the business side of the aquarium hobby, I've mentioned before some of my previous jobs, and I would say in those jobs there was a decent amount of skullduggery, a decent amount of tricks, uh, a decent amount of drama and stuff. Man, the fish business I feel like is full of scam artists, liars, people who directly profit off of the average person believing things that aren't true. Like it's really treacherous out here, man. And I'm just trying to like dig in more. And with everything, there's always good people and there's great local stores that like and stuff like that. But I'm constantly surprised at how shady shit gets sometimes. But maybe that kind of feels like the vibe with almost everything involving livestock. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, what's up? Yo, Big Steve is in the chat. I don't know if you guys know, but Big Steve is officially the greatest Nanochromis transvestitis breeder in the entire world. I just saw the third spawn that he posted on his YouTube shorts. Go give him a like. How do you feel about Glassbox Diaries? Glassbox Diaries, it seems cool. He's coming to the stream a few times, and I've watched some of his videos. So that's actually someone I have watched. So you have to be more specific how I feel about him. He posts mostly glass box diners. I mean, I like the stuff of his that I've watched. He's been a very steadily growing channel coming up. I forget which video I did, but one thing I like, he does very long videos. Um, and the few I watched seem pretty detailed. So honestly, I like him.
For today's video, I'm going to
And
share.
he's got an accent. I trust everyone with those accents, man. They've been keeping fish longer than us, right? So come on, come on. All right, let's get into this Hygger sponge filter here. I'm gonna bag one more thing of isopods, but I want to get into this because we talked about sponge filters the other day. So I have it right here. This is the Hygger cylinder sponge filter HG225-M because they're incapable of just committing to a normal name. The dashes and stuff are always going to be required. Um, so let's take a look at this. I'm gonna pull up the phone cam. I'm gonna pull up the phone cam, and we're gonna see how promising this sponge filter looks. So packaging. Start with the packaging. Got some bright color screen on the bottom, orange on the top. We got the swoops. They seem to like these swoops. 3-year warranty. Uh, Weird stat here. It says depth below 23.6 inches. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm stupid. You guys tell me what you think that means. Depth below 23.6 inches. Um, Product features more efficient and durable, properly increase oxygen levels, easy to set up and clean. These are the promises. These are the claims. We got contact information on the back. We got an email. We got an address. We got trademarks. Look at that. Mago at hygger-online.com. If you have any issues, send them here. Okay. This is one of the things I like the most about the filters. Nothing special about that sponge filter. All the Chinese filters are the same. But I would actually say this is kind of it is a distinct, at least in appearance, than other filters, quote unquote Chinese filters. One thing I like, you go in the back, it's got the specifications. So I think this is the medium size. They have a small size. And I like that all the width and stuff is the same on both of them. They're just different in height. I really like that uniformity in theory. Okay. One other thing on the page is they claim that there's like a built-in air stone in these things. So I guess that would be one of the key things to evaluate, right? Does this air stone diffuse water significantly at all? And I do have a tank that needs a sponge filter. We're gonna test all this out. All right, so box comes with a sponge. It comes with a user manual for both sizes. I already had the smaller one. And then here you see we got the internals, and it lists their air stone. I think it's interesting. First cool thing I like about these, talking positives. Well, the foam feels nice, feels very fuzzy, but it comes with an extra sponge. Now, I'm not one that ever plans on using an extra sponge or needing one, but I kind of use the extra sponge to make my own makeshift sponge filter. You know, cut it up, use it as some other kind of useful thing. And you take it off, and now you have two sponges. It doesn't like need that much time to expand or anything. So, I mean, I didn't ask for an extra sponge, but I'm not going to complain. So, I guess that's a positive. We look at this diagram. We got an inlet tube. We got an air stone at the bottom here. So that's what I'm trying to look at. Let's see if this air stone actually looks like it is anything unique to the sponge filter. Okay, so this is the tube. Got a rigid tube on the inside that you can take out. It's kind of interesting. And then on the end, you have this, which I guess is the air stone. So let's just put just the air stone in the water and see what it looks like. Okay. And I got a tank here. I'm in the process of setting up. I'm putting all my scarlet baddest in here so I can try and sex them, take a look at them, put them in a tank that is a little bit less heavily planted. So I had it set up conveniently. We got airline here. I think this is a pretty clear view of what's going on. So take this and let's put it on the tube. Okay. And we have the air stone, and you can see that's where it attaches at the bottom. And similar to some other of the plastic air stones, like the aquarium co-op kind of unscrewable ones, it's like some kind of cylinder with just lines in it. I don't really know how it works. Uh, can you change the air stone? I missed the full thing. Jesse said, can you change the air stone if not trash? Well, I'm gonna assume yes, because realistically, you would just have to stick an air stone in there and use that instead. And you can remove the center tube and the middle column that this tube goes down is this big. So you should be able to fit air stones down there. So yes. Now I think your main question is, can you remove the air stone from this tube? And the answer to that is also yes. William says, is it a never clog? I have no idea. But it's attached just at the bottom of this tube. So if you wanted to put a different air stone, I don't see why you couldn't rig up one by just taking it off the end and then replacing it. So, and another thing I like about it is that it does go all the way to the bottom, so the air is coming directly from the bottom of the sponge. And it's snapped down there, so that's nice. Okay, let's see what these bubbles look like coming out of here. This is a 10-gallon. I don't have it all the way filled up yet, so just keep that in mind for anything that might affect bubble dispersion from how deep it is. Okay. And let me turn this air, let me open this all the way up. Okay. And it's not wanting to stay still. Because the thing is, it would be straight down. So I don't want to look at it when it's like sideways, because that's not how it's going to be. So looking at it straight down, I can't really hear the bubbles from here. Similar to other air stones like this, the bubbles, at least how it's coming through right now, aren't that small. But I mean, it's not like a mass of giant bubbles, so kind of makes me think I need to up my airflow to this and see what happens. So give me a second. I just gave it more juice. Now I can hear it. So let me try and hold it straight down because that's how it's going to be. All right. Let's adjust the flow a little bit here. Some big bubbles. But I do see as it's running, I'm starting to see smaller bubbles coming from the top. Right now it's only coming from the bottom. So now I'm kind of wondering I think maybe it might need to be snapped to the bottom because the bottom's not supposed to let air out of it. You see what I'm saying? So I think having it like this is actually preventing it from doing what it needs to do. So I'm going to snap it back onto the bottom. Okay. I'm going to snap it back onto the bottom to the base here. And let's see if that, because I think the air is just coming out the bottom and not the actual air stone part. So that's on me. That's on me. And it does have one of those weighted bottoms and stuff, so that did feel very, very heavy. We'll try and put it as level as possible. And here we go. All right, much better. Much better. So I would say that looks pretty good. It's not the smallest bubbles I've ever seen. I'd say that's pretty small. Yeah, go ahead. I like that. It's not loud. It's built into the sponge. I'm into it. Now, how long will it take for it to clog? We're gonna have to find out. If it does clog, XYZ. But so far, I'm into it. I like it. I like that you could switch it out easily. I like the the stiff tube. It feels very modifiable, and I'm adjusting the flow a bit here. So that's probably what I would have it at if I set it up. And that seems like a nice little sponge filter stone thing to me. Um, if this doesn't clog, then I would say it's the best built-in sponge thing that I've tried so far. Not to say there isn't one out there, but it seems promising to me, is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna put the freaking thing back together, and this thing's just gonna have that the sponge filter. So you can see it's this base. It's a decently heavy base. Then it's this tube. So let me first put the air stone back in. Yeah, don't. This air stone doesn't have a bottom preventing the bubbles from just coming out the bottom and not the actual air stone part. So that was on me. That was on me. I almost made them look silly by making myself look silly. All right, and then I need to put this little column back in. That snaps in. Then we got the sponge in here. That goes on, and then we got this top part. Bada bam. And I see snaps like that. Cool. I got my freaking airline. Now let's see how easy it is to get it to sync, because it's got the, oh, what's up, Keith, by the way? I don't know if I actually said that. It's one thing to have it sync with a coarser sponge. With a finer sponge, we'll see. I mean, it's a pretty heavy base, so yeah, obviously it's not going to sync. And on the instructions, it says to squeeze a few times to make it sync, so they don't claim that it syncs immediately anyway. So I can't be mad at that. I'm squeezing a few times, and it is now seems to be sunk. So, and I'll bring you guys closer again without getting my computer too wet, so you can see the bubbles coming out of the sponge filter currently. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely dispersed. I'm satisfied. I'm not that much of a bubble snob anyway, so it's not really mean that much coming from me. But I like it, and I felt like I could definitely set that up, plug it in, and not really think about it too much, as it should be with a sponge filter. And I like that its width and stuff is the same as the smaller one, and the only difference is the height. I like that a lot. I hate big fat sponge filters, but also I've had times where I've ordered like a smaller sponge filter, and it's actually taking up more space than the larger size because for some reason the smaller one is wider. You know what I mean? So the varying width of sponge filters has gotten me in the past. So at least so far, I like um, the uniformity. Now it's just a sponge filter, so like you said, it's not like anything too crazy special, but it's got a solid feeling weighted base. It's got a built-in air stone that looks like it's easy to replace with whatever air stone you want, and it comes with a extra big sponge. I'm gonna cut this up and make my own little sponge filters out of it. So, or maybe use them for the fry trays for blocking, keeping fry from getting out of it. So I'm happy. It's like it's like the small one I think is $12. Maybe this one was 13 or 14. Um, and definitely it stands out in how it looks. I feel like it's obvious they're like this is like their answer to other sponge filter trends, like the weighted base, some kind of bubble dispersion being advertised. What's the benefits of a wide versus tall sponge? Tall seems like it'd be better. I honestly have no idea. I only like the tall because it's easier for me to stick in different places and hide it. The wider ones I have more issues with hiding because I use so many rocks and stuff. It's easier when I can. Oh, the other thing I really like that it has a square base. I can't emphasize that enough. That's actually the main reason why I got it. So I already put it back there, but the sponge filter has a square base. To me, makes it really easy to put alongside things. I hate round bases. I don't care if the sponge touches the wall a little bit or whatever. I don't even know if that's a thing. Just because of the way that my brain works, I like the square base. I do. I can admit it may be illogical. It may not be rooted in reason, but I do. So I've had the other one running for a little bit now. It hasn't clogged yet. It's still got the same bubbles as this one. So um, so far looking promising as far as the world of 12 to $14 sponge filters, which I guess is where we're at now. Hygger, I would love free sponge filters. I'm still gonna shit on every product you have that's bad, but I really need more sponge filters. So if you want to send me a bunch of these, so they're on my tank, yeah, I'll let that conflict of interest go. Because, goddamn, how am I supposed to buy, you know, 10 tanks worth of sponge filter? That's like over $100 in sponge filter. I'm not doing that. I gotta buy the cheap ones. So I will say that with these more kind of expensive sponge filters, like they're nice, but at the same time, it's like, damn, man, if you go with one of these branded ones, it's really hard to fill a fish room out with them financially. It's like filling a fish room with like, UNS rimless tanks. It's really hard to justify. Okay. All my fish room tanks are sponge filters. Yeah. The square sponge is better for my OCD. Exactly, SC. That's what I'm saying. Uh, no, all my tanks are sponge filters too, but they're not all branded, over $10 sponge filters. A lot of them are like you pay like 10, $12 and you get four of them situations. Jesse said, "How you think I feel trying to outfit 300 takes?" That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. It's just hard. It's I need these cheaper ones to adopt some of the same features. That way I can, have the luxury without the cost and more of the tanks. But the square base alone, this is now my favorite sponge filter, and I don't like Hygger that much. But just because of the square base, if you like it, I love it. You know, that's all it takes. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man. Now, if it starts clogging up on me and stuff constantly, then we're gonna have a different conversation. Then we're having a much different conversation then. But we're off to a decent start. I need to catch some isopods. Man, what is everyone working on today? Jesse in here, Jody in here, KG. What are you guys working on? I'm really hoping that this pike cichlid will come out with her fry soon. I shone a light in the cave and the fry were like moving around a bit, but she's still herding them very close. Very close. Jody's also bagging fish. Oh my goodness. We're all just bagging, huh? All just bagging. I'm about to catch some isopods real quick. Speaking of bagging fish, so the business is opening up, but Jody's been breeding stuff and selling stuff. So I think that's one cool thing is you're opening an online retail thing, shipping fish, you already got a decent amount of experience very quickly, with a relatively short time, and the hobby shipping fish. So I feel like it's kind of cool. Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. I need to start some more isopod tanks, sadly. I really I don't think I've quite oversold. I've been getting rid of a lot of isopods, and I'm kind of like, okay, I don't want to go back to a time where I had to actually, spend hours scrounging with the turkey baster to find isopods and fulfill orders. Jesse shipping boxes out. Jesse, I need I need those fish from you. I've been thinking about them, those long ones, the West African cichlid, the weird looking ones. I've been thinking about those guys a lot. Thinking about them. I saw them pop. Wet Spot had them available. I saw them pop up. I was like, man, I need these guys. That's gonna break my no fish buy early. But the good news is, I thought I was gonna have to get ready for BAP soon, but ACM is doing their meeting. They're not doing the auction. They're going to the aquarium. So I've been to the aquarium a lot, so I'm gonna skip that one. Even though it's just a cool trip, I just uh, that's not how I want to spend my weekend then. But I will say that gives me more time. Maybe we do a 200 point month at the next auction if they're gonna. We have to wait. Jesse said, "You know where to reach me." I know. I'm waiting for them to come in. As far as I know, they're not in yet. As soon as they come in, you'll be reached. You always taunt me. You always send me pictures and stuff. That I'll like. So I feel like if they came in, you've already sent me the temptation message. Some stuff for Jose, Jesse, and Mystery Sales of Cheryl and Juanita. Waiting on the drill press to show up. Oh, you're gonna be drilling tanks? You know what would be a brave thing to do? Drill some tanks live. That would be. Let us see every time you break a tank live. Oh, speaking of speaking of the isopods, I put this note in the Discord, but the Amano shrimp most definitely, in my experience, eat aquatic isopods and other small invertebrates. So I would say Amano shrimp are they're pretty dangerous, man. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty dangerous. I've had a lot of issues with them with a lot of different things. I mean, it's what makes them good as a cleaner shrimp with bigger, more aggressive fish because they're gonna be fine. But if you're doing like an invert only tank, just beware. Yamanos, they get hungry. They get real hungry and they they start killing things. Uh, I'm laughing, but I'm really crying on the inside because I've had a few isopod colonies. I was like, man, why is this like not taking off the way? And I thought it would, and because I forgot that I had him on or something. They get hangry all week, all day. They get very hangry. Sheesh, sheesh. They kind of always hangry. Someone in the Discord compared them to ghost shrimp, and I do think that's a pretty accurate comparison. I do see a lot of similarities with them and how they like to murder things. They have that passion in common, The Amano shrimp and the ghost shrimp, they both like to kill. They really do. And like I respect it. I get it. That's like your passion. I can't hate on that. But it doesn't really align with my goals a lot of the time. That being said, I do want to try. and breed a mono shrimp at some point, or at least I did. Now I kind of don't. Now I think about it. Now that I think about it, I kind of don't. So I'm gonna have to find another larval shrimp to torture myself on. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Yo, what's up, Uncle Smiley's Aquarium? So I hated Jody. I've yet to see Amanos do that. Trust me, they do. They eat isopods 100%. They eat baby shrimp. Oh, they'll decimate the fish eggs, and they'll eat fry too. One, two, three, four, five, six. Problem is, a lot of these things, like depending on the setting, you're not gonna really notice that they're happening. Um, that's what I've noticed with like the snail eggs. The snails and fish eggs. It's like it's not like I necessarily for a long time saw the snails eating the fish eggs, although eventually I did. But it was very obvious when I took or significantly decreased the amount of snails, the baby fish suddenly started appearing when they weren't before. It's kind of a similar thing with the Amano shrimp. It's like, man, my shrimp population was really taking off in this tank, and until I added these Amano shrimp, then I take the Amano shrimp out, it's taking off again. And similar thing with the isopods. It was like, okay, this colony was going really great, had a lot of isopods. Suddenly, I'm not seeing anything. So definitely got to be careful, and that's why I'm now going to be more cautious when I try these other algae eating shrimp that pop up every now and then, because I just don't know if they're the same way. I've had Amanos kill weak fish, Jesse said. Yep, that sounds right to me. Um, I like bamboos, and Jesse said I like vampires better. Let's look at the conflicts of interest. Jesse, do you have vampires or bamboo shrimp in stock right now? Be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh, uh, Counting isopods is it's a difficult task. Counting is already hard enough. Somehow I made it either. I have algae eating shrimp with my Swillia. I wish no issues in the shrimp reproducing them. There you go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the situations I was talking about were also in smaller aquariums too. So I'm sure there's many factors that could increase the chance of predation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or like I keep fry in my isopod tanks a lot, and my isopods reproduce just fine. But I've been taking certain kind of fry out because even though to most people you'd say, this isopod colony is going good, it's making so many, I can tell the difference in production with some kinds of fry because they're eating the baby isopods. So in order to meet the amount of isopods I need, it's like I can't have that happening to that degree. So that's when it really just goes down to your goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm almost there. Almost there. I don't know if we can get all these done today. Let's see. They're in a 40, Jody said. Are you selling those shrimp yet, Jody? Ah, good question. Atya scabra, a new species of of shrimp like the vampires. Yeah, they looked huge when I went to your place. They were huge. I definitely I'm gonna have to pick some up next time I come over. For show. For show, for show. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I gotta finish catching isopods, and then it's just so much stuff. There's just so much stuff going on right now. I partly wanted to stream for a little bit just because I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I was like, man, let me just chill for just like an hour or two. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, yeah, we're good. We're good. The batch I got are bigger. How big are these shrimp? Jesse, how big are these shrimp? Exactly. Maybe we should be trying to farm them for food. I feel like I read somewhere some kind of vampire shrimp they were looking at potentially as being a food source. I'll go find that. I really do. But I'm trying to get as many bags done as I can now, and then I think I'm gonna have to finish fulfilling orders tomorrow because I got some other work stuff I need to do in a little bit here. Got some club stuff I need to catch up on too. The batch I got are bigger, legit 4 inches. Bro, look at monster shrimp. I just looked over at the well, one I needed a sponge filter for that tank, but man, the square base. Let's see. What else should I get done this live? Do you guys wanna try and help me sex some Scarlet Baddest? That could be kind of funny. That could be kind of funny. I haven't finished separating them from the other tank. I've got 20 of them over here so far. I need to catch the rest of them, the ones I bred. And then the other tank I had them in has been green so long, I really don't know how many are in there at this point. Both of the tanks I've had them in, they're small fish, and it's just like infinite rock piles, algae and stuff. So it's been really hard to get a good sense of how many I have. That's why I'm like catching them and putting them in a more bare tank, and just counting them as I go. But sexing some Scarlet Baddest live sounds pretty hilarious and almost futile. Hit me up, girl. I hope you hear me 'cause I'm so anxious. I got you. I got you. Right here. Yeah. Yeah. Nick, are you going to Aquashella? Nah, nah. I thought about it, but I just couldn't really. Well, one, I'm not buying fish right now. Two, like I'm going to the Clash. I just kind of feels like I didn't feel like I need to do both. And then three, like Aquashella, like there's something about the vibe of Aquashella, like just made me feel like I didn't need to go. Like it felt very I don't know if corporate is the word, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like an event I needed to go to when I'm already going to the Clash. That's gonna be like my big event time commitment. I got too much going on, but I bet it's gonna be a great place for you to vend. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the pictures and stuff of that for show. But I'm more excited about the Clash. That's what I'm on Team Clash. Team Clash. I'm making it tribal. Now, Scotty buys Aquashella one day, you know, then maybe I'll change my allegiance. I was gonna say I can bring you fish there to the Clash. I'm probably gonna do a video on Aquashella too. I look forward to seeing that video. I'll definitely want you to bring fish to the Clash for me, for sure. That sounds great. That sounds pretty great. Let's see who's gonna be at Aquafina. Let me see. Aquashella, New Jersey. Buy tickets. VIP weekend, early bird, general, kids. Okay, we got a kid zone. Oh, that's a negative for me. I'm out. Get them kids out of here. Let's see. Exhibitors. Okay. Educators. Garden of Eden picture. I like that. Let's look. Let's look. What's going on? Featured guests. All right. So remember how I said I don't watch a lot of fish YouTube? Um, I only know Grant on here. I guess I've seen caveman aquatics. I've seen predatory fins. And Father Fish. So I know one person really, Grant, and I like him. The other people I recognize, I don't really like their videos, and yeah. What are they talking on? Oh, we got saltwater Jeopardy. I'm out. Freshwater only. I'm out. Okay, freshwater secrets workshops. Freshwater skate. Okay, freshwater Jeopardy the next day. That's what it is. This is saltwater vibes. That's why I don't like it. What's a clash, as he says? The Keystone Clash? How dare you? Regulatory issues affecting our pet trade with pet advocacy networks and others. Okay. Celebrity tank tour. Yeah. Okay. It's not my vibe. It's not my vibe. This just looking at this sea of faces I don't know off of vibe alone, I'm out. I'm out. Okay, New Jersey. What else? What else? But let's see who's gonna be there. Because Grant's gonna be there. That's cool. But who else? Did they have like a vendor? Where's the vendors? Aquashella, New Jersey. Okay, this is exhibitors. Is that what I went to? Interactive floor plan. Okay, that's cool. What's up, George RG3? Oh, second. Give me at 11:30. Don't let me forget. I'm filling up a tank with water. I need to remember that. Ugh. I'm trying to load this interactive map, but it's not loading. So I don't know if I have a setting that's wrong, perhaps. Let me see. I turn off graphics acceleration. I imagine that's probably what it is. Some of those. Because I want to see who's gonna be
Well,
there.
clearly we struck.
Sorry, I just reloaded every single Chrome page I had open, so it just started auto-playing everything. And my apologies. My apologies. Let me go to Google Chrome. It lost my incognito window. Aquashella. We just want to see the exhibits. Please. Alright, here we go. Google Chrome, Aquashella. We're back. Let's try this again. Exhibitors. Alright, so I had graphics acceleration turned off. That's why it wasn't working. But I turned it back on. We're back. So let's take a look at this. Very cool interactive map here. Very cool. Now we're starting to look at some reasons why it might be worth going. So I was looking at the events and stuff, and like, eh. But get like a ticket just to go in for the day, just to access the vendor room. We might be cooking here. Well, I'm still not driving there for it, but we might be cooking. We got Dustin's Fish over here. We got, I don't know who that is. We got Custom Aquariums. We got Polo Reef, Father Fish. We got Predatory Fins. We got Quinn's Fins. We got Polytank, AGP Substrates, True Love Plant Shop, Ted's Bonsais. That sounds interesting. Hikari Sales, USA. Oh yeah, buddy, let's go. Hikari Sales. Can't wait. Aquascape Inc., Atlantis Water Gardens, R&R Koi, Aquameds. Interesting. Uh, Fitz Fish Ponds. I thought that was Fritz, but that's a different thing. Fitz. And it's in the vicinity of, it's right across from Fritz. Let's see. Got a lot more. We got Champion Lighting, Pet World Experience. Hey, Sarah GmbH. I don't know what that is, but I want more Sarah products. Hold up. Chewy? Interesting. Global Fish Co. Pisces USA. It does feel very much like an industry event for sure. Better World. Fins Worldwide. West Coast Woodworks. Interesting. Oh, Henry's. Thanks a lot. Chris Pet Shop. Cats Aquatics. Wild Fish Tanks. Oh, okay, that's cool. Fintopia. Formerly Super Cichlids. Interesting. I didn't know that happened. Shrimp Contest. Aqua L. Amazonia. Dr. Tim's Aquatics. Bite Sized Treasures. Mars Fish Care. Leah's Plants and Things. Nori Vossen Art. Some saltwater stuff. Oh, Garden of Eder. All back here next to the feature stage. Aquashella merch. Gingerbread. Corals. PNW Custom. The Macro Lady. Interesting. All about helping aquarium enthusiasts discover and enjoy the amazing world of macroalgae. Holy. Hold up. I mean, it looks like some saltwater stuff, but still, that's cool. That is cool. The Macro Lady. Yo, check this out. Okay. Um, this is okay. This is like the saltwater area over here. So there's a lot of freshwater representation, and then you have a whole saltwater coral area. Like I guess there's reef stuff throughout. But yeah, there's some cool vendors here. Now, Jesse, where's your table? You said there I am. Wait, did I click on you and not? I was looking for you this whole time. Where are you? Let me see. Just one more fish. Ah, there we go. Just one more fish. I didn't see because it was the logo, and I was reading like the words. Kind of about Jesse in 2020. Just one more fish. A family-owned business dedicated to breeding, rescuing, education, and conservation of numerous aquatic species. Look at that. Right next to Henry O'Fish. No, sorry, O'Fish Shell. Father Fish is a little close to there. Dustin's right over there. It's a good little spot. And right next to Tropical Fish Hobbyist Magazine. And the Guppy Contest. Okay. 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 I like it. I like it. So there you go, guys. There's some of the vendors at Aquashella. Macro Lady has cool bows, cool bowls. Yeah. My gold laser should be here soon. It said out for delivery. Oh, where'd you get some gold lasers from? Yeah, the Macro Lady, that was one of the more uh I hadn't seen her thing before. It just stood out to me because um I'd recently been more interested in macroalgae stuff in part because of Thompson. Thompson Aquatics, because he was, I don't know if you guys saw the stream where he came on, but he was talking about the saltwater aquarium he was setting up to do aquascaping with macroalgae. I thought that sounded very cool. There you go. Speaking of which, Thompson Aquatics, I need to get him back on. I want to have him debate high tech versus low tech planted tank. And I'm trying to think of someone from debate. I have to reach out to some people. I kind of thought it would be cool for him to debate Alex from Fishery on that topic, but I haven't gotten in touch with Alex yet to ask. But I will. Hopefully, I can make that happen. But if not, I think he'd be a great person to do a debate on that kind of topic. Jesse said, if y'all go to Aquashella, stop over and say hi. Yeah. And yeah, cool, George. Cool. Out for delivery. Always exciting when the fish are finally out for delivery. And the gold lasers, that's a cool one. I'd love to have some of the lasers one day. I'm thinking about doing more quarries, honestly. If I can get the stir-by quarries to breed regularly, then it would make me want to do more quarries. But I'm still kind of like a noob. So I kind of like the Julies. I like how the Julies look. I'm not going, Jesse. Don't like traffic in the area. I don't blame you, Keith. I'll see you at the Clash then. He said, yep. That was basically my thing. Like, I I would go if it was closer just for the vendor then, honestly. To me, the Clash has more other stuff going on that I'm interested in. For Aquashella, I'm really more interested in like some of the people going there, the speakers and stuff. That definitely is not really my thing. Whereas the Clash has some great speakers lined up from my perspective. Sorry about that. He said, "Oh, Keith, just got another order from you." Oh my gosh, I'm jealous of you guys getting all these fish deliveries. Meanwhile, I'm here faithfully on the no fish buy that I would never break for any reason. Just feel like I'm being left out the fun a little bit, you know? All right, I'm gonna stop the water there for now. Let's take a look at these baddest we got going on over here. Where's my phone? You guys hit my phone, didn't you? Didn't it? I've been to the aquatic experience when I was in, I cannot say that, bro. My brain is pausing. Secaucus a few years back. It was good for me as a business. For hobbyists, I think it was lacking. Yeah, that basically was my kind of thought. It just seems like a bit of an industry vendor thing. I got food from Keith today. Because Keith, he does the Dr. Basslers, right? I believe. I think we talked about that recently. I might order that from you one day, friend. I want to try that food. I want to try that food sometime, sooner than later. Okay, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Ugh, my apologies for that. Let me just fix the airflow here, because it's going crazy. Okay, you guys still good in there? I'm using this hang on back filter as like a little fry raising thing. I've done it before. I'm trying to make it work a little bit better. I'm just paranoid about the fry somehow leaking into the main tank and getting eaten. But so far so good. Damn, it's 2:24. I gotta get to the post office. I gotta get to the post office. Shit. Let me find my phone. Like all these baddest, they just look gray. They all look the same gray to me. It's crazy. It really is crazy. How the hell am I supposed to identify anything here? Of course, they all ran back after I put the computer in there. Jody, I sent some extra stuff I won't use since I don't have fish anymore. Oh man, hold up. What kind of extra stuff we talking? What kind of extra stuff? All right, here they come. You guys see the cloud of baddest coming through, and you see how colorless they all are. So this is my thing. It's like as I start catching them, putting them in here, I'm probably gonna end up selling them unsexed, bro. Like because I don't feel like going through the effort of being responsible for getting the sex of them right. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's gonna take way too much work for me to be able to handle. That sounds like Jody got the loot today. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Northland kelp wafers and extra Bessler's food. Open packs, but still good. All right, all right. Yeah, I need to try some of that Bachelor's food. I do. How old are the fry? No, these are, I would say, adult status, most of them. Um, is it 6 months? I don't know. They're relatively old. So I need to catch more of them. Like I said, I've had them kind of colony breeding. Um, and now I'm trying to like put them in a tank where I can track them down a bit easier and see what's going on. But I just am kind of showing this to demonstrate the fact that, at least at a quick glance, they're very gray. Um, and it's interesting how in here they kind of like swim around together. Now I assume that there's a dominant male somewhere in here that's colored up, and that's probably part of why there's more grays. So the whole, yeah, actually I do see one in that back corner. So the whole sneaker male thing is really the issue with these fish. Is like you got some dominant males, and you got a whole host of subdominant males. So the dominant male is actually coming up to the front here a little bit. He's on the side on the right. And some of these gray guys I can see like a spot of red on that lets me know it's not a female. Some of them. And then others, it's really up in the air. So I'm gonna spend some time staring at them, see if I can figure out a surefire way to be confident every single time, and then maybe sell them as pairs or something. I don't think I want to do but I don't know. I just don't want to do the deal with the sexing, and I don't want to do the convince a fool to buy a $3 billion female Scarlet Baddest thing either. He said, "Oh sheesh, yeah, yep." KJ said, "Jody, those wafers are the best for that type of food. Your hill stream should like it. Very cool. First time trying a Dr. Basler's. Okay, Jody, I'll be watching with great interest." Speaking of foods, I've been experimenting with making some foods, and I made the fish bark we tried the other day. I fed it to the Congo puffers. The Congo puffers were eating the fish bark. So I'm gonna keep experimenting with some different formulas. I ordered a scale today that I can use to weigh ingredients so I can actually have a real recipe going on. But I was like, hey, I made a fish food thing and the Congo puffers were eating it. with relative enthusiasm. So I kind of took that as a pretty good sign. I'm on the right track. What's up, Peplin Creek Aquatics? And as I say that, I need to go grab my package because my scale has arrived. I didn't get a super I didn't get a super accurate scale. I think it's like 0.01 the accuracy. But I wanted to get a slightly larger one so I could use it for small packages too. So I think it does up to 10 pounds. But I don't really need it to be that precise. I just need it to be precise enough where I can at least write down generally what my ratios of ingredients are. So there's that. There's that. Ugh. But that's one of my to-do lists for next day or two. The fish food thing, but then also deciding how I want to go about this Scarlet Baddest thing. I'm probably overthinking it, but that's what I do. Here we go. My tiny little scale has arrived. Man, what a day. What a day. Digital scale. Yes, 0.01 grams is what it's supposed to be accurate for. Hey, Brian, hey. I really need to get on my first name game. Gotta be like Jody. A tiny little scale. Oh, man. It's an excuse to start doing drugs. Snort caffeine. Oh my gosh. You about to go on my lunch break? There you go. Yeah, I need to go on my lunch break. I don't think I've eaten yet. Man, put these batteries in. So this is exciting. This is exciting. I'll be able to be legit when I'm making my little foods. Got my scale. So I think the food stuff is gonna help me with a few things. Like one, it'll be very economic because if I buy all these bulk ingredients and I'm making my own fish food, like that should save me some costs, sure. Then it's also fun. But then I can also like add to foods I already have that exist. So if I already know the composition of a commercial food, then I can, weigh it and do the math on what I need to add of whatever supplement or something to make it more nutritionally complete, things like that. I'm gonna be selling food? Hell no. No. No, the food is for just for my own uses. Own uses. Hopefully, the only thing I ever sell is the occasional fish I breed and plant thing, whatever else. But no foods. I just want to make more videos. I also got these new measuring cups for catching things in because the plastic looked clearer. So I wanted to try them. And also, this thing looked straighter down, so I figured it'd probably be better. Yep, see, I thought it would work better for hanging on the side of tanks as I'm catching stuff. So I got this set. Got three different sizes. Looks promising. Probably break a little easier than the other ones I have, but I'll enjoy them before I break them. I'll at least do that much. But this does look like the plastic. This is what I was hoping for. The ones I have I like, but I wish that they were a little bit more clear. And this straight down thing, that should let me hang it on stuff a bit easier. All practical stuff today, man. Family Dollar sells clear plastic measuring cups like those for $1. We use them a lot. Yep, it was that kind of a thing. So I'm into it. I'm definitely into it. The legit catch cups, I keep breaking them. Even the coupe ones, I keep breaking them. I know I'm the problem. I'm clumsy. I'm a menace. So I had to find a more financially viable solution. Oh goodness. Heck, I like this. This scale looks cool though. But yeah, the making foods is for my own purposes. See if I can make some more pellets that maybe some of the pickier fish that are only on live foods might be interested in. I don't know how often people train the Congos to eat prepared foods. I feel like they're very smart fish, so I feel like it's probably something that's been done before. But I was excited they were eating the damn thing, so works for me. I quit buying the dip and pours too. I picked them also. I shopped at Dollar Tree for fish room gear. That's like honestly one of the most disappointing parts about going to the grocery store. They don't have enough like random cheap kitchen shit I can use in the fish. I'll go to the grocery store and I'm like, okay, let's find something fish related I could buy. Sometimes it struggles, man. Peplin Lee makes one that's a tougher plastic that's very hard to break. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll break it. I break them all. I've accepted it. I've accepted that's my reality. I'm not gonna believe anything else. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Turn on the damn lights. Okay. So, I probably need to lock in here. Actually, pack some boxes, finish packing the boxes up and get to the post office. I'm probably gonna cut the stream at this point. I just wanted to pop in real quick, hang out. I had that thought on my mind. I had a little bit of time, so I figured, why not? Provide some background noise, some yapping. If you guys, I don't know how many of you guys checked out, we did the live stream where we looked at the research papers on the natural predators of ick and other protozoans. I really enjoyed that because that's the kind of research I've been doing anyway. So I might do another stream like that sometime soon. That might be the next thing. Um, I don't know on what topic, but I really enjoyed that. I've grown fond of measuring cups though, especially when there's 100 fish individually bagged. 100%. Measuring cups are nice. I got these like reptile containers to mess around. They do have holes in them, so you can't fill them up all the way. But what I like is like for the isopods or for collecting fish eggs, because they're small, they're they're flat, so you can see through them without too much distortion. Flat sides, and they're square. So on my fry tray, I can really easily line them all up, label them, and stuff like that. So it's fun just trying random cheap plastic containers. But I think measuring cups are one of the best, especially for shipping stuff, because then you can do the same. Once you know how much water, you can do the same amount of water for each one, and then you can know exactly how much your boxes weigh every single time if you use the same stuff every single time. So I like it. That's what I'm saying. I like it. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna dip, get some work done. But it's been a nice chat. It's been a nice chat, you know. KG said after Christmas, Target fits all the Christmas themed gold containers on clearance. I used to buy a bunch. That's funny. Anything that hangs on tanks, I'll probably break. So it better be $1 a cup. 100%. That is what I'm saying. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't really gone super hard on like anything with hang on breeder boxes because I just know that I'm gonna eventually knock one of those off too. In fact, I have, but it didn't have water all the way in it. But yeah, anything that's hanging on the tanks is in serious danger. I'm gonna knock into it. It's only a matter of when. So yeah, I can't replace $15 catch cups. Even $10 catch, even $5. It's got to be the $1. That being said, it's been fun hanging out. Appreciate all you guys. Peplin, KJE, Jody, of course, Bob stopping in. Lunch break upcoming. William, of course. Jesse holding it down the chat. George even pulled through. SC, of course, SC came through, holding it down. Audra was lurking. Really appreciate everyone stopping by. Pelman said thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. hopefully I'll have a fun research topic as my next stream next time I have some free time, and we'll hang out, chat again, maybe do some breeding update stuff. I'm hoping that the pike, the dwarf pikes, come out with the fries so I can show you guys what they look like. That's my number one upcoming breeding project thing that I'm excited about. So, with that being said, thank you guys. This has been me, also known as Fish Boy, also known as In My Tanks. And I believe that now is the time where I'm supposed to say, have a good one, and also in my tanks. Out!